Hey, how are you today? Welcome to another segment of Next Evolution Athletics Q&A session. Today's an interesting question I got from another coach that I've been friends with in the field for quite a while. And they're going through a pretty rough time uh, with being a coach. It's a little bit harder right now, and they're just tired of the ebb and flow. And like most careers, uh, being a strength coach, strength performance coach, conditioning coach, doesn't really matter if you're in this kind of field. You're going to go through highs and lows. Not every day is a great day. I know everyone thinks that our job is super fun and it's always on a high, but in truth and reality and in actuality, there's a lot of ebbs and flows. You're going to go through periods of being super busy and then super quiet. You're going through periods of growth and self-doubt, and you're going to go through periods of client compliancy and then client complacency. And then there's always a yin and yang to every business, every field, and strength coaching and performance coaching and coaching is no different. But this person in particular is kind of at that crossroads whether they want to stay in the field or leave. And they've been in it for several years, and honestly, they've been doing I think they're doing a great job. But I understand where they're coming from. So usually when I get this question, and I've had it a few times over the years from other coaches, and I don't want to say it's a lack of passion in the field, because we all have passion in this field because you just don't do it for the money. There are lots of other jobs that are going to make way more money, way more consistently. Most of the time, coaches get in this field because, and I can only speak from my perspective, that health and fitness at some point in time massively improve their life and take them from, say, a dark spot to a much better spot. And we just want to help people experience that feeling as well. So we go through periods of like extreme passion, and then just like, another day. So usually when I get this question, I usually respond with another question, and it's very simple, but a lot of people forget about it. And usually when someone says, "How do you stay so passionate for the field for such a long time?" Because I've been doing this professionally for 13, 14, I think going on 15 years now. And my answer is always the same. And I always ask them in return, when's the last time they invested in themselves? Um, I usually get the answer of what? What I mean is, when's the last time you really put time into learning something, really put stock into growing personally as well as professionally? And a lot of times in this field, coaches get so wrapped up in helping others, they forget to help themselves. Uh, I personally invest in myself every day, whether that's listening to a podcast, watching a YouTube video, reading an article, writing an article, now that I had to start doing that, and creating more content, working with another coach, um, reading a book. Like there's 100 ways that you can reinvest into yourself. And a lot of people forget that that's how you stay passionate about your field. And this just doesn't fall for strength coaching. This falls for every field. If you're in oil and gas, because we're in Calgary and you just stop kind of learning more about your field, people get complacent and they get used to doing the same things. But this is a never changing world nowadays. Like my world, especially, if you aren't learning something every day, within 6 months, you're obsolete. You know, you have to always constantly be pushing the boundaries of what you as a coach can learn, grow, and then apply. So I always ask, when's the last time you invested in yourself? And usually the response I get is like, what do you mean when? So a lot of the times I find when you lose passion for something, it's because you aren't trying to grow it. You aren't trying to make it better. You aren't trying to improve on it. And in my field, I just love it. Like I really do. I enjoy reading about it. I have hundreds of books on strength conditioning, nutrition, mindset, methodologies, biochemistry, like endocrinology. Like there's all kinds of stuff, and there's all kinds of certifications, courses, YouTube videos, coaches I follow on Instagram and social media, that help me pick up something new every day, and then I try and find a way to apply it. It's just a constant state of growth. And I think when you're in a constant state of growth, it's much easier to become passionate about what you do because it's always new, it's always exciting, it's always fun. You're always trying to experiment with something. I constantly experiment with stuff with my clientele, and I have to. A lot of times it works because the guys I get it from and the people I get it from and the coaches I get it from have been doing it for longer than I have, and it works for them. So it works most of the time. It's how and when you apply it. So it's kind of funny. I always find it interesting that a lot of strength coaches want people to invest in them, but they aren't willing to invest in themselves. A lot of them don't have their own coaches. A lot of them do their own programming. A lot of them aren't willing to pay someone else for their programming. And I find that really interesting. Now, I'm not saying I have my own coach every time. I'll have a coach for certain periods of what I'm trying to learn. If I'm trying to learn about a specific method of training, like conjugate, when I went to work with Matt Wenning, I wanted to understand conjugate training, tactical training, and how he managed to train for 20 plus years at the top level of powerlifting without sustaining any major injuries. That's a pretty big deal. So I went down, I worked with him online for about 3 months, and I went down to Columbus, Ohio, and worked with him for a week at his facility. Stayed with the guy. Probably one of the best experiences I had in my field. Learned so much, it's stupid. Work with, a lot of coaches that way. So I have multiple coaches for what I'm trying to learn at that time. Right now, I'm taking jiu-jitsu. Why? I have not done it in over 12 years. I was horrible at it, but now I'm putting a lot of stock into it and learning how to do it. So right now I have a Brazilian jiu-jitsu coach, and I go and train twice a week, 3 times a week, as much as I can. So you should have a coach. I'm not saying that you have to have a coach for strength training. I'm not saying you have to have a coach for, a life coach, but I'm saying if you need to grow in an area, find someone that's done it before. Do your research on that subject. Find an expert in that field and find someone that's really good at it. Learn from them, get coached by them. It certainly helps. It keeps you passionate, it keeps everything fresh. And at the end of the day, clients aren't stupid. People aren't stupid. They know when you're investing in yourself and giving them the information and not. Okay? If you're doing the same bloody thing you've been doing for the last 10, 15 years, they're not going to hang out forever. So it's the same in every field. It's the same in life. Whatever you invest in will grow in a positive manner. Now, I'm not talking financially because there's a whole other gambit there. But someone told me years ago, I forget who it was, the only true investment that has 100% ROI, which is return on investment, is an investment in yourself. And since I heard that line, I've put so much stock into it, and I've done it every day for the last 14 or 13 years, or whenever I heard it. And I made sure that I did. Because why? It's 100% ROI. That simple. And at the end of the day, as a strength coach, yes, we're trying to make better athletes, but you're going to be a much more successful coach if you try and make better humans first. Because a better human makes a much better athlete. It's just that simple. So invest in yourself, folks. It's worth your time, it's worth your money, and it's 100% worth the effort. And everyone around you will benefit from it. Everybody wins. There's a no-lose scenario there. Hope that helps. I hope you have a great day, and keep getting your strong on. I'll talk to you later.